And there it is, that's Goreme. Strange, isn't it, how they all learn to burrow into the mountains, but pretty switched on really, isn't it? Pretty good idea. Keeps you warm in winter and keeps you cool in summer. Anyway, let's crack on, because today we're heading north. So I was working out last night, I was thinking, what should I do now? Shall I go east, towards the very far end of Turkey, or should I go north? To tell you the truth, I've sort of ticked the boxes of all the things that I wanted to see in Turkey. I know there's probably thousands and thousands of other things I could also see in Turkey that are equally wonderful, but I need to move on. I get itchy feet after a while, I do get itchy feet, so I've decided to go north. And oh, they're all crossing, yeah, they're all going. So oh, this is the town of Goreme. A million places to eat, and just down here they've even got a Burger King. No, I have not used the Burger King. I resisted. I saw it yesterday, and because I just came, where was it? Just over there. There was a camping shop. Well, mostly camping fashion, but my gas stove that I bought from Decathlon died yesterday, so I couldn't make tea, couldn't cook with it. I thought, oh, what am I going to do now? So did a quick Google and I saw there was a camping shop there, so I went down and I bought myself a new gas cooker, and it's great. I even bought a canister of gas as well, and it was even better than the Decathlon one. So what did it cost? With a massive big thing of gas, a tall canister, and the burner on the top, it cost about €30. So anyway, at least I can make tea and at least I can cook now. So it is 7 o'clock in the morning, little bit overcast. Temperature today is 20 degrees. Oh, it's lovely, it's 20 degrees. And I know by 10 o'clock it'll be 30 degrees. But that's why you get on the road early, to sort of make use of this cool temperature. There's stables there, in fact there's a couple of other stables as well. That place, Moonlight Horse Ranch, and they do sunset horse rides. Now I can ride a horse, and I quite fancied that, and I thought, well, to do that means staying another day. I was tired yesterday after doing my balloon ride and after going down south to looking at the underground city. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I went on the balloon ride yesterday? Yes. Got picked up at 4, which meant I had to get up at 3:30. In fact, I set my alarm and I woke up before my alarm. Woke up at 3 o'clock. Got picked up at 4. The balloon took off about 5. We were on the ground by 6, but we saw the sunrise, and it was absolutely brilliant. If you come in here and you're going to look for a balloon ride, just Google balloon rides Goreme, and the first ones you'll see are £125, £150, and they're all silly things like picked up in an air-conditioned bus, and you get breakfast, and you get a champagne reception for afterwards. and you get a certificate and you get a USB with pictures from the flight. I didn't want all that stuff, I just want the balloon flight. So I scrolled down, and I got a balloon flight for 55 quid. Absolute bargain. 55 quid, absolute bargain. Looks like a fort, that one, doesn't it? Isn't it strange how they've sort of worn with little, and they've got little things on the top, or I wonder if they've been put there purposely, I don't know. Anyway, that was a superb morning, and I was back at the campsite a little bit before 7, so I had some breakfast, cup of tea, waited till about 9 o'clock, then I got on the bike again and I rode about half an hour south, and I went to the underground city. Absolutely superb. 9 kilometres of tunnels, over 8 levels going down, and it's been there from about 8 to 7 BC, and they started tunnelling down because it was quite easy to dig out of the rock, and it was cool in summer, warm in winter, and also added a lot of protection from other tribes and things like that, and it was brilliant. Got back to the campsite in the afternoon, and then I was chatting to some people, and then I made the mistake of just closing my eyes about 6 o'clock in the evening, and that was me. I was out for the count, but there you go. Anyway, I'm heading north, gonna be 500 kilometres, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye. This part of Turkey is really strong agriculturally. For about the past hour since I've been riding, you just see nothing but fields and fields and fields, and it must be harvest day today, because for the past 10-20 kilometres I just keep saying harvester after combine after combine after combine harvester. So they're all gathering the crops today. I wonder how many crops they managed to get through a year. 2 crops a year? I don't know. But sometimes you don't know much about a country and you think Turkey, and for most Brits Turkey just think it's just beach resorts, but a lot of Turkey is just this, and it's wonderful, really wonderful. Lots and lots of grain, storage silos, processing plants. So it's actually gone down a little bit, 19 degrees at the moment, the temperature. I'm not complaining, I'm not complaining. Look at that cloud, quite a low cloud, so it's keeping the temperature down. So this is central Turkey, the agricultural breadbasket of the country, and it is fields and fields and fields of wheat and barley. Anyway, I'm going to put the music on, and yeah, I'm heading north today. Could have gone east. I've decided to go north to the Black Sea coast, so should be interesting. Gonna put the music on, speak to you later, bye bye. Well, there we go. Plan A's out of the question. Families only. It's understandable. You know, some bloke turns up on his own with a scary looking beard and who's not had a haircut for 2 months. Looks a bit spooky, really, doesn't it? So it's a shame it's right next to the beach as well. Sod's law. Right, there's 2 other campsites here now. There's one just a bit further down. Looks a bit like a refugee camp. And there's one at the other end of the beach, which apparently could be anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 lira a night. So it's like 18 to 20 quid a night. So, what time is it now? It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's the resort down there. And why have I come here? I just want to be near the Black Sea. I've never seen it before. So I've finished all that. I've had enough of rubble at the moment. So I thought, right, what shall I do next? I could have gone east. I thought, no, let's go north. Let's go and have a look at the Black Sea. And then from here I can either go east or west, depending on how I feel. So, apparently the toilets there are pit toilets and there's no shade, and sod that, I'm going to have to pay a little bit more. There's just no shade there at all. I'm not putting my tent up in the sun. I'd be like a fried kipper after a couple of hours. If there was some shade, fair enough. Also apparently it's cheap there, I think 300 lira a night. The toilets are a hole in the ground. No, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to go to other campsite and pay a little bit more. It's only money. It's a shame that first campsite. It's all right, I saw a little spot there was just under some trees in the corner. I thought that would be great, but I can understand it from their point of view. Well, it's what it is. Plan D was to wild camp for the night. To tell you the truth, I want a good night's sleep. I've not had a good night's sleep for a few nights. Bit of peace and quiet, because that campsite was a bit noisy, to be honest. And I could do with a decent shower as well. Mind you, that other campsite, they had sit-down toilets. First sit-down toilets in a week. It was luxury. Right, here we go. See how much these guys want. And hello the internet, and hello to my subscriber. And look at this, and that's the Black Sea just behind me. Looks very blue though. And just over there in the corner in the background is a small city or a big town. It's called Sinop, S-I-N-O-P. And from where I was in the centre of Turkey, it's just directly north, and it's on the north coast of Turkey, on the Black Sea. It's right slap bang in the middle. So any particular reason to come here? No. When I decided I was going to leave the middle bit, I just went straight north to hit the coast. And the reason why I come here is I just want to see the Black Sea. I've never been here before, and there's always a first time for everything. Yeah, so I've got the tent all sorted. I've got a nice campsite. The first campsite that I went to, it was families only, understandable. They don't want scary old blokes there. There we go, it's understandable. The second campsite, I didn't even bother stopping. It looked like a refugee camp. And then I found this third campsite, 750 lira a night. So that's okay. That's pretty good actually. And it's nice and peaceful, lots of greenery, lots of trees, lots of shade as well, so I'm happy with that. And I've just come down onto the beach, and I've been for a paddle, and the water's lovely. So I'm going to go back and have a little snack in a little while, going to have a drink, and I might even go for a swim. But yeah, just behind me there, Sinop. I was reading something about it. It's been there for about the 6th or 7th century BC, and it was mainly used for shipbuilding. But I'm going to go down there tomorrow and have a look around and see what's left. So yeah, it's been an uneventful day today. 550 kilometres around that, about 550. I've been riding most of the day, and I don't mind the mornings because it's okay, but it's the afternoons when the sun gets you, that's when it sort of drains you. And on top of that, my back's aching. I slipped a disc about 25 years ago, and whether it's a seating position on the Transalp or whether it's my age, I don't know. But I found that after about 3 hours my back starts tingling, and after 4 hours it starts getting, it gets annoying. And on top of that as well is my right knee. I don't know what I've done to my knee, but my knee's swollen up a bit and it's really hurting me at the moment, so I'm limping along at the moment. I think it's my age that's the problem. But yeah, it's pretty good. There's just a supermarket just down there. In fact, it's about a 5 minutes walk actually. So I'm gonna limp down there a little while, get some food, get some drink, and I was gonna stay here just for one night, but to be honest, I might do 2 or 3 nights. To be honest, it's pretty nice. It's pretty peaceful, and on the beach here, they've got lots of shaded areas. So tomorrow I may bring my Kindle down here and just laze in the shade. So what am I going to do next? I've sort of ticked all the boxes really for Turkey, and I've come up to the north now and I've seen the Black Sea. So instead of heading east, I know there's lots of other things to see in the east, but I'm going to head west towards Istanbul. Yeah, and then I'm going to start heading north. So, like I said earlier in the video, I've got itchy feet. I get itchy feet in a country after a week or so. I kind of get itchy feet, and I want to move on to the next bit. So, I found a little slice of paradise, and yeah, it's a pretty good campsite. 750 Turkish lira a night, which most of I've been paying about 1,000 so far, so this is pretty good. That's me here in northern Turkey on the Black Sea. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye. And good morning the internet, and good morning to my subscriber, and hello to Tom and Johanna. I hope you're well. Well, it's a Saturday, at least I think it's a Saturday. It's a Saturday morning, 7:30 in the morning, and I've just left my campsite and I'm going to be heading west towards Istanbul. Now I'm just debating with myself whether I should go to Istanbul. I don't know. I've been there twice before. You know, got a tick in the box. I've been twice before. I have an aversion to big cities, really. I'm not particularly fond of big cities. It's I found that when you go towards a big city, things become more expensive, and there is a campsite just on the outskirts of Istanbul, but apparently it's about €30 a night. And then there's one about on the coast, on the northern coast, about 25-30 kilometres away, which I think is normally priced. I don't know, you know. I mean, like I said on the other video, earlier on, after a while I tend to get itchy feet, and at the moment I've got Bulgaria and Romania saying, come on, come on, come on, it's nice here, come and have a look at us. But you know, Turkey's nice, and I've been here, I've done it, I've seen all the things I want to see, so I'm thinking now it's time to head on, because Romania is saying, come on, come on, come on, come to me. So I was rather hoping, when you get off the ferry at Tangier and then you hang a left and head towards Algeria, there's a beautiful, absolutely stunning coast road, and I was rather hoping that the same thing would apply here as well, going along the coast of the Black Sea. No. It's all little iggly-piggly roads, and if I was to go along the coast, it would take me a couple of days just winding up and down these little roads. Sometimes you've got roads that don't lead anywhere. So I was thinking about it last night. I thought, what do I do? Do I spend a couple of days going along these coast roads, or do I just go for it? So I thought, no, I'm just going to head west, go for it. I'm just going to head west. I'll see how far I get today. It's about, from where I am at the moment, it's about 650 kilometres to Istanbul. So I could do it in a day. It all depends on my bum and my back and my knee. Like I was saying on the previous bit of video, I'm alright for about 3 or 4 hours and my back starts tingling, and then after about 5 hours I'm sort of feeling it. So and the swelling on my knee has gone down a bit today, although it's still sore. I don't know what I've done to my knee at all, but it really is. It's my right knee, and I dislocated it playing rugby about 20 odd years ago, and occasionally it gives me some hassle, and it's giving me some hassle at the moment, but I don't know what I've done to upset it, and whether it's just my age or the seating position on the Transalp, I do not know. So Anyway, that's me leaving Sinop. 7:30 in the morning. I've had my cup of tea, I've had my breakfast, and just a little bit down from me there was 2 German guys arrived last night. Strange enough, one of them came from Frankfurt, and he lives not far from where my daughter lives, in Frankfurt. Small world, absolutely small world. So and he says, oh, I'm gonna have a barbecue, do you want some sausages? I says yes. And then the rain started. Last night we had rain. The rain last night was biblical. We had thunder. I was sat in my tent with the flap open looking out, and these beautiful bolts of lightning coming out from the sky into the sea. It was noisy as well, but so I never got my barbecue with the 2 German chaps yesterday, as the rain got in the way. It's funny, it's like everyone could see the rain coming, and I thought it was going to pass us by, but no, all of a sudden it changed direction and everyone scattered. So that's the first rain I've seen for about 6-7 weeks since I was in Germany. That's the last rain I've seen. That's the first rain I've seen since I was in Germany. I was looking at the weather forecast the other day. I noticed there's a lot of rain in Central Europe. So I had to dig around the other day to find out to see if I still have my waterproofs. And yeah, I've still got my waterproofs, so that's okay. But yeah, so I'm heading east, and then hopefully today, fingers crossed, I'll get to that campsite to the very north of Istanbul on the coast. If not, then I'll probably just wild camp somewhere along the way. We'll see how it goes. It is what it is. So yesterday, in fact, that campsite, it was so nice. Instead of doing one night, I did 3 nights. And yesterday I went into Sinop, had a look round, and it's just a modern town. There's a little bit of the old castle there. The old castle's been there for about 900, something like that, 1100s. And I also went to see the old prison. Now, going back to the Ottoman days, in the Ottoman culture, in the Ottoman Empire, if you murdered someone, you did something wrong, stole something, they had levels of punishment, execution, maybe taking some fingers or a hand off. Also, for a lot of things, if it was like, say, for theft or, I don't know, small misdemeanor, they just throw you into a dungeon of the local fort or the local town hall. And then about 1860, they thought maybe throwing people into dungeons and chaining them up isn't the best thing to do. So by 1860, they were starting to transform in Turkey, and they introduced a judicial system as well as a police force, and also levels of administration as well. And so part of the judicial system was to build prisons. So the first prison was built in Istanbul about 1870 something, and the second prison that they built was in Sinop. Also another thing, going back to about up to the age of steam. Before then, if you did something wrong, you were a naughty boy, you could get sentenced to rowing, say to 5 or 6, 3 years rowing, 2 years rowing, 5 years rowing, because in those days all the galleys were, before the main days of sail, all the galleys would be rowed. So you'd be chained up in the local fort, let out in the daytime and you do a bit of rowing. Anyway, when they introduced the judicial system, they had to build prisons. So the first prison was built in Istanbul, second prison was built in Sinop. I went to see it yesterday. It actually closed in, I think it was 1997. But before that, before they built the prison, what they used to do there was just throw people into a dungeon in one of the towers of the castle. And they had a look in the dungeon, and it was horrible. There was a big chain, the big chain would run down the dungeon, and you'd just be shackled by your feet onto the chain. And that was you for a couple of years. Oh, horrific. Anyway, they introduced the prison. Sinop was the second one, and it was a big U-shaped, and what you had mainly was just big rooms, and there'd be anything up to 100 men in each room, and they'd just have mattresses, and that was that. And I think it was like something about 1940s, 1950s, they introduced bunks. And they didn't actually get a women's bit, a women's wing, until about the 1970s. Before then, if you're a woman and you did something wrong, they didn't put you in a cell. What you did, they used to give you to the local mosque, and they'd lock you up in the room in the local mosque, and the imam's wife used to look after the women. But yeah, and that was it. So it was just a normal town, and the only thing of interest was the prison. So I went round the prison, had a look round, and yeah, interesting, very interesting. A lot of the rooms there had visible displays, and they were in English and Turkish, which was very good. So you could really get a feel for it, and it told you about the history, which was really interesting. So that's me chatting away, heading west. So I'm going to put some music on, and I'll leave you in peace. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye. And hello the internet, and hello to my subscriber. I finally made it to Istanbul. Bit of a long day today. I left the campsite this morning about 7:30 and just kept riding and riding west. I had initially, I thought, I don't know, I'll probably get about halfway and end up wild camping somewhere, but I actually made it. I got here later on this afternoon. It was a little bit over 700 kilometres today, and it went okay. It was just boring, straightforward, head down, just keep on going. I stopped a couple of times, especially later on this afternoon when it started getting hot, but that was it really. It's just a long boring ride. So when I hit Istanbul, went over the bridge, and then had a little bit of a ride around Istanbul city centre. I was here about 35 years ago and completely different. I don't remember there was one little bit I remember, but other than that, everything is completely changed. It's a big modern city now. But I did a little bit of ride around the city centre. Played chicken with the taxi drivers, and went over the bridge a couple of times, and then I headed north and I came to my campsite. It's about 25-30 kilometres to the north of Istanbul, and there's one campsite towards Istanbul, but that's about €30 a night. I'm not going to pay €30, no way. So I've come to this one. It's €20 a night. It's a bit expensive, to be honest, but it's actually a pretty good campsite. It's mostly permanent caravans, but they've got 4 spots for touring tents, which is this one I'm standing on, and there's 2 just up here as well. Toilets and showers are great, and there's even got a little kitchen, so if you want to, you can use their gas to cook. So I'm going to be here for a couple of days. Going to nip down into Istanbul tomorrow, have a look around. May do a tourist attraction. I did them all years ago, but I might just do them again, and we'll see anyway. But today it's a little bit cooler up here than it was down south. Still hot though. But this is me, Istanbul. North of Istanbul anyway, and as you go north of Istanbul, right to the coast, just to the left hand side of where the Bosporus comes out into the Black Sea, that's where the campsite is. There's a little fishing village just about a kilometre away. I can't pronounce the name of the fishing village though, but it's been a long boring day today. Big jump, just over 700 kilometres, 720 kilometres, something like that. But sometimes you've just got to make the big jumps. Got the tent up, got the bike there. I've had a cup of tea, I'm just about to cook something, and everything's pretty good, and it's still quite warm as well. Right, thanks for watching. The next, after I leave here, I'm going to be heading to Bulgaria. That'll be my next little bit on the itinerary anyway, and that's heading west and north a little bit, heading into Bulgaria. So, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.